Hey Rose, how are you? Good morning. Well, that lets me know the chat's working. Just sharing out to groups really quick. Just give me one moment. I'm almost done. I'm like halfway through the list. Hey Jen, Cicero, how are you? Thank you for welcoming me back, Rose. I think it's good to be back. I kind of miss him. Not even kind of. I know I miss him. Hi, Chris Sintra. How are you? Good morning. I know I miss him. That's the thing. Like yesterday, I was kind of in a slump. I think I'm still. Hey, Jen Sheldon. Good morning. I think I'm in a slump still today. Um, I got to knock myself out. Not knock myself out of it, but like raise my energy a little bit. Because this morning I've been up since like 5 this morning. I'm on a little bit earlier than normal, but I thought whatever. You guys are used to it. Um, because the last week I've been releasing them at 7:30 a.m. So I thought, oh, I can come on at 7:30 and see who joins, and if not, you guys will catch it um, in replay. So, but I do miss him. It was a good visit. We had a really good visit. It was a long drive. I got it, and this is the worst part. Let me turn down this music a little bit. Hold on one second. I it's about 9 or 10 hours, right? You have to drive from Florida all the way through. What is it? Mississippi, Alabama, Mississippi, and then Louisiana to get to Texas. And I hauled butt home, and I was 33 miles from my house, and I got a ticket. $300 after fees and everything for paying it online. I got a speeding ticket because I was just like so wanting my own bed and like hustling home at that point, and I was tired. I was rummy, and I wasn't aware of how fast I was going. And you do like 70 or 75 on some of those highways, especially through Texas, and then you get to these little because that's the speed limit on most of the highways. But then you get to these little towns that are in the middle of them, and you have to slow to 45. And I slowed through the to major part of the town, but I didn't. I thought I was leaving town, and I saw the sign go up to 55. Sign was 20 feet in front of my car. The cop was like, "No, you're not allowed to go to 55 until you get to that sign." I was like, "Oh, great." So, so that was kind of a bummer. I paid that this morning at 5 a.m. when I got up. I was a little bit pissed about that, but what can you do? You know, as they say, stuff happens, right? So it is what it is. But I was so close to getting home, and I was so like happy to be home. You know, 33 miles in some small town that I wasn't even familiar with. I was following my Garmin. Even my Garmin said where I was, it was 55, but I guess it wasn't. And he was sitting in like a little ditch in the dark where he probably shouldn't have been parked to begin with, which kind of like, you know, got my goat a little bit. Granted, I was speeding, you know, I guess I was. I was not aware I was speeding, but um, $300 later, I'm aware now. So, and they make it, it's just, I don't know, it's such a racket. It's such a small town. Like, why a ticket would be $300 there? They have no sidewalks, they have no maintenance, they have no, I mean, where does that money go? Like, to what? It'd be one thing if it was like maybe going into the school system or something, but it's not. Um, they tax us all for that already quite highly around here. Okay, I need to stop talking because I'm not sure now where I'm sharing and where I'm not. Great. Great. But I made it home safe, and I'm grateful for that. It was just to be so close, to have driven for so long, and you know, I broke the speed limit a little bit here and there, trying to get home, trying to make time to get home. So I was just really pleased that I had made it so far without having any issues. And then, right when I get to the door, bam. And I didn't have any issues on the. I'm a good driver, I promise. But I was just tired, rummy and tired. I had also been up since 6 in the morning that morning, so it was late in the evening, like 10 o'clock at night. I was kind of like, and the cop was like, "Well, why don't you pull over and go to sleep?" Because I told him, I was like, "I'm sorry, I've been driving from Florida. I was unaware of my speed. I must have been tired and not paying attention." He's like, "Well, if you're tired, you shouldn't be driving." I was like, I'm like 33 miles from my house. Can you shut up?" I'm so spiritual, right? Uh, I just paid. Thank you, Chris. I don't know what I paid. The thing is it was $278, right? And then they give you this thing where, and I don't get a lot of speeding tickets. I'm not a bad driver. I don't like really speed or anything like that. I was kind of trying to hustle home. I was really tired, and I mean, I'm totally going off on this tirade because I paid this ticket this morning, but you guys will deal with it for a minute. Um, uh, but then they give you this thing where it's either easy. You can either do like community service, which I don't really want to drive back to that small podunk town to do 3 days worth of community service because an 8-hour day is $100, right? So it's 278. So technically, you'd have to be about 3 8-hour days, which is fine. I don't mind giving over my time for that. But then, in the cost of driving back and forth and all of that sort of stuff, it's kind of not worth it. So, and then the other option was to take a defensive driving course, which I don't even want to get involved in that. And then or you can pay it online, right? So you go to pay it online thinking, okay, fine, I'll just eat it and take care of it. And then they charge you, the website that they use charges you a $15.95 fee for processing. I'm like, wow, they really just kind of have you over a barrel, don't they? So I just paid it to let it go. And hopefully I don't ever get another speeding ticket again. It was due to the fact that I was not paying attention. I was just totally like focused on getting home. Anyways, I made it home and that's what's important. So, good morning, Sonia. How are you? So, good morning, Karen McIntosh. How are you? So yeah, I'm glad to be back, but I miss Paul. And good morning, Kristen. Oh, speaking of Kristen Ravello, I want to say thank you for my Christmas gift. This showed up the day that either the day before I left or the day before because I left early in the morning. So it showed up that afternoon. So I'd already pre-taped for the whole week. But this was a gift for her Christmas. It's a mini deck of Tarot of the Pagan Cats from my Amazon wishlist from Kristen Ravello. I also got this from Andrea, I'm not sure. But Marikal, Kristen's friend, the Divine Guidance deck. So these will be stuff that you guys will see me unbox at some point. Sven is very happy that this is here. Sven and Ingemar, they want to thank you themselves. They say that finally they're now being acknowledged for the godlike beings that they know themselves to be. And then they say, "Scoop my poop, human." So they say thank you for sending this. And I really appreciate it. It's nice to receive little Christmas gifts. So thank you. I look forward to going to medieval times with the two of you ladies in March. That's my birthday month, so it'll be crazy. On the Real Housewives of Dallas, like I think the last episode, or maybe 2 episodes ago, they actually went to the Dallas medieval times. So I got to see a little bit about what our experience might be. I hope you guys enjoy it. I've never been, so it'll be fun. Thank you, Melanie Larrabee. Thank you for saying that. She says the truth. For those of you on YouTube, she's saying she's glad that I'm home safe. Thank you. You're new to me, Melanie. I've not seen you. Good morning, Laura Bowen. How are you? Yeah, so... No, I love it. Thank you, Kristen. Kristen says on YouTube, yes, we wanted to bombard you a bit with decks. Love you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I totally appreciate it. For those of you that don't know, I do have an Amazon wish list that's on the business page and in the Engelgeist group if you need to find it. You can always pick a deck off there that you want to see me read with or unbox that you might be interested in. You can send it my way. I love to collect them. Speaking of decks, the exciting thing is we're at December 1st. We have new decks to work with, guys. I've switched up the decks. I want to say thank you to the artists that made the decks that we last used for the last month of November that won the deck vote. That was Jillian Wild's Naked Heart Tarot. And I can show you really quick while we're doing that. Because these are really beautiful decks. And they may be back in the future, but this is the box for the Naked Heart Tarot by Jillian C. Wild. You can follow her on Instagram under that name, JILLIANCWILDE. An absolutely beautiful tarot deck. And then we also used the Roots and Wings Oracle deck. And this I got off of Etsy. The Naked Heart is findable at major retailers. I got that deck from Amazon. If you look at the unboxing videos, there's links in the descriptions to these artist decks and where to purchase them. This is by Kat Riles, and you can follow her at River and Roots on Instagram. You can also follow me on Instagram at Engelgeist333 if you're not doing that. But these were two beautiful decks that really blended like amazingly wonderfully. So the new decks that we have, I'm super excited about. These are the other two decks that were in the running back in November. So we have the Rust Belt Arcana that we're going to be using as our tarot deck. So I'm really excited about that. That is also has an unboxing video on my YouTube channel. So you can watch there, and in the descriptions are the links to that. And you can follow the artist at, I want to say, Downpour DW on Instagram. That's David Wilson. He's the artist, and it's also created by Matt Stansberry. And so we're going to use that deck. And then the other deck that I'm super excited about that I think you ladies are going to love is the Song of My Heart deck. I was thinking that this was going to win last month, and it didn't. I was really surprised. But we've got the Song of My Heart deck. And this is an oracle deck that's made by an artist out of New Zealand. And she can be followed on, sorry, this music is just going off this morning. She can be followed at Hand Me That Pencil on Instagram. And her name is Justine. And she actually sent me, she had an addition to her deck, Song of My Heart 2. So I opened those this morning. I was going to shoot an unboxing, but I just want to use the whole thing together all at once. So I'm excited to see how these two decks blend together. Okay? So that's what we have for today. Let's get into the meat and bones of everything. And let's do our, good morning, William McDonald. Let's do our breathing exercises, right? The 3 breaths. We haven't done that together all week since I've been traveling. And the other thing is I will be traveling again over Christmas, just to give you guys that heads up. So everything will be pre-taped over the Christmas holiday as I go back to Florida to see Paul, hopefully ticket-free. So let's, around here we like to take in 3 deep breaths before we start the forecast. We breathe in through our nose, deep into the belly. We hold that breath, and we imagine sort of the oxygen permeating our bloodstream, permeating our brain, kicking us off, getting our synapses firing. As we do that, we begin to emanate a light. I emanate from my heart chakra. You guys emanate from wherever you see fit or feel most comfortable. Whatever chakra you feel like needs to emanate light from, you can feel free to do that. There's no right or wrong to this. It's your own practice. You build it here. And hopefully take it out into the world with you each day. As we release the breath, we remind ourselves to give thanks for first the body, on the second breath, the mind, and on the third breath, the spirit, bringing the 3 into alignment and connection with one another and into like a balance or equality. There's no struggle with this, guys. It's just allowing for it to be, really, is all you have to do, is just intend for it to be. Even if you don't know how that feels, just say, this is what I want today, is these 3 components to come together in balance with one another and in gratitude for one another. So let's do that. We're going to take in the first breath, and with each breath, inhale and exhale, just keep emanating that light further and further out of your body and then out into your auric field. Okay? So let's take in that first breath with me now. If you want to join me, plant your feet firmly on the ground, bring your attention to your body in this present moment right now, wherever you're at, And let's take in that first breath. Inhale. And hold. Emanate that light. Adjust your chakras if you'd like. And release. Giving thanks for the body. Give it a little love, a little honor, a little gratitude. Let's take in a second breath. And hold. Grow that light a little bit more. Adjust the chakras, just see them coming into balance. And release. Giving thanks to the mind. Allowing it to connect to the body in appreciation of one another. See that sort of balance happening and that love sort of vibrating between the two components of yourself. Let's take in that third breath. And hold. Emanate that light. Any final adjustments, get out your triangle, balance it. And release. Letting go of anything that doesn't belong, anything that we don't need, that no longer serves us. Just allowing for it to be released out into the world, right? We don't need to carry anything with us. It's no longer serving us. That's not set in present time. Giving thanks to the spirit, bringing the spirit in alignment with the mind and the body. Also seeing it, balancing and supporting both of those components as those support it. Any last minute adjustments you need to feel comfortable, and open your eyes when you are ready. Hey Nancy Lowe, good morning. You're new to me too, I think. Yeah, it says first time viewing. Okay, I didn't recognize the name. William McDonald's also new, so welcome you guys. Thank you for loving my energy, William. I'm seeing he's saying first time viewing. I'm glad you love my energy. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. I appreciate it. So let's get into what we do around here. The Sunday forecast is always a little bit of a bigger forecast, right? We look at the week ahead. Not only does this represent today, Sunday as a whole, but we're looking at like sort of each card representing a couple of days this week, right? And it's sort of the underpinning energy of what's going to go on throughout this week. Then each day thereafter, we pull cards to sort of build upon the energy of what we saw on Sunday. Does that make sense? So just so you guys are aware for some of my new viewers. So I'm going to shuffle the cards for a moment, asking Spirit for the cards that best suit the collective right now. What do we need to focus on for December 1st through the 7th of 2019? I always assume that Spirit is going to be opportunistic. If you happen to be watching this reading, say, 2 years from now, it comes up in your space or in your YouTube channel or whatever, don't worry. I believe that Spirit sets it up so that it can reach as many people when they need to be reached. So if you happen to be watching this and you're saying, hey wait, it's not December 1st, there might be something in here for you anyways. Maybe watch it and see what happens. So that's the intention, at least, for Spirit to bring through the message for our own highest good, for all of us that are watching live right now and those that may watch in the future at any given time. And I believe that Spirit can do that. They can pull that off, right? Now, again, this being a collective reading too, for those of you that are new, some of this may resonate, some of it may not, and each person has their own individual experience. So if you see one card and one card resonates, you might be stuck with that card for the entirety of the week. You might move through all three of these cards in the first half of this week and be on to something beyond what the rest of the group is looking at, right? That's why we build upon it. So each person's experience is individual, and embrace that. But also each experience, is shared. We come here to this planet to sort of share that. And so that's why we do this as a collective reading every morning as your forecast. I am your spiritual meteorologist. Also, follow that tag. That's my hashtag on Instagram, for those of you that use Instagram. I'm not really adept at it yet, but if you follow me there, you'll see that I use that hashtag. It started as a joke, but I kind of like it. It's sort of a fun hook. All right, so I'm gonna flip the cameras and we'll see what's going on for the week. So our first card coming out, interesting, is the Eight of Wands. Wands deals with the element of fire and spirit. And this deck is all done with, I have to mention that the artist chose like flora, fauna, the animals and stuff that are native to their region. So different, it's a very nature-based deck, which I really loved about this deck. I also loved that it was a sort of a self-produced, handmade situation off of Etsy. So that's part of the reason why I chose this deck. But the wands here represents as is always the element of fire and the element of spirit. Now this plant, I can't really read this. This is called the Platanus occidentalis. So they give you like these great sort of the scientific names for all of this. But then they also, what they give you is they give you this word, this is not traditional in tarot. So to me, I think this is kind of cool, but the word here is purpose. So I like how we're going in. I don't know if we're actually technically in the winter season yet, but it's certainly feeling that way as we sort of, the energy slows down on the planet. And I like that we have this December 1st card. Our first card out is this sort of barren tree. And the reason why I say that is this makes me think of sort of the leaves falling away, or maybe our thoughts falling away, the things that maybe this year has brought us, allowing those things to kind of fall away and transmuting them. There's still life in this tree, right? There's still all of these nests. This tree is still home to many birds. We even see this bird here. But the thing that I'm getting from this is that right now this feels more like going to our core, like letting some of the surface layer things. How do I want to explain this? Sorry, guys, I'm still having coffee. How do I want to say this? Okay, so like the picture that I'm getting is the leaves that were once on this tree that make this tree beautiful have been let go, right? And we see the more inner workings of who we are, right? The more barren version of ourselves, the more pared down, stripped down version. But what I think about that is that there's beauty. These nests to me say that there's beauty and that there's love to be had here. There's creation to be had here. There's still life within us, and this is time to sort of reflect upon that and really get in touch with our purer selves would be a good idea, or a good like phrase for this. Our more our truer essence. Does that make sense? It being a spirit card, and maybe our purpose, right? This card says purpose, so maybe finding what our purpose is in the next few days, or reflecting upon that, going a little bit deeper than we normally would. Especially, we just had Thanksgiving, so now we've kind of come down off of that, and we're getting ready to gear up for Christmas. So this would be a good time to maybe take that inventory at a deeper level, and know that, like, I love that this tree is got all of these multifaceted branches on it. Like, we are multifaceted people, and we have different opportunities and different options all the time around us in how we grow, where we grow, what we choose to grow and focus on. So keep that in mind also in the early part of this week, because what we grow, or which direction we grow in, we give life. That's these nests here. We give life, and we give energy to those things in our space. So now is a really beautiful time to sort of, as this tree lets go of its leaves and its sort of, outer layer, not, I don't want to say fluff, but like, and not protection, but it's about getting more, like, I feel like this card to me is about getting more to who we truly are and what we truly desire for the year to come. So think about that over the next 2 days, or next, 2 to 3 days. That's the beginning of our week card. The next card, oh wow, love it. Okay, so this is my life path card, actually. This is the sixth card. This is the Lovers. And there's two storks here. I think that they're storks. There's not a name for this bird, but it's some sort of a stork or herring. It has a long, long beak, and I love how they're coming together and crossing beaks. Get your mind out of the gutter, ducky. Um, but they are crossing beaks and they are looking each other dead in the eye and they really are appreciating each other. And I feel like if those of you that aren't in a relationship, this could very much be significant of finding a love relationship or finding appreciation for those around you. But I also feel like this also for those of you that maybe are more solitary, like I am. I tend to be a little bit of a lone wolf. This is about the way I would interpret this for somebody more like in my situation. This would be about finding that appreciation and love amongst yourself. And I think that that's some of what this purpose card is in the beginning of the week. By midweek, we get to this place of really finding where we want to put our love, where we want to put our energy. Do we want to invest it in those around us? Do we want to invest it in ourselves? Where do we want to sort of cultivate these nests, right? This life, this nurturing ability, right, within ourselves to sort of hold up our our creations, right? So this Lover's card also says to me, because it is major arcana, that they tend to pack, major arcana cards tend to have a little bit more meaning, a little bit more energy behind them. The Lover's card to me says that like the midweek we're probably going to be feeling pretty good, that there's going to be some significant uh, for those of you that are really in line with this reading, there's going to be some significant um, like heart adjustments or an emphasis on how we feel from our heart chakra, where we focus that energy, and really sort of pursuing that and paying attention to that over like the midweek, right? And then the week's end is the Knight of Pentacles. Now this artist includes, I should mention this too because I forgot about this part of the deck, and this is another cool thing I thought they did with this deck, is that they use different quotes on their court cards. So this quote here, I'm going to read it to you for the Knight of Pentacles, is passion is lifted from the earth itself by the muddy bands of the young. It travels along grass-stained sleeves to the heart. If we are going to save environmentalism and the environment, we must also save an endangered indicator species, the child in nature. And that's Richard Louv, Louv. So when I look at this, it's a Pentacles card which deals with, in traditional tarot, and this is a tarot deck, right? It's the element of earth, and it's also sort of like material wealth. So when we're starting off from an introspective spirit space. We start to bring that spirit or that knowing to a place of love by the midweek. We start to focus that love either on ourselves or on those around us. As we start to do that, I really believe that we start to create something materially. We start to honor maybe ourselves, and that honor, this butterfly here is really pulling my attention. Butterfly is always a symbol for transformation. And this young girl is holding the butterfly. As I read that quote, I'm thinking that there's a youth and a vitality that this love is going to bring to us. And by week's end, when it's talking about the child in nature and honoring that sort of younger person within us, it's that youthful creator. Those of us that might feel there is an authority to the Knight of Pentacles, right? This gentleman here is giving me like some authority vibes. He's teaching this young girl, but this young girl is also teaching him in her transformation. And this is sort of a balance of not only the masculine and the feminine, but like sort of our older wisdom and our youthful selves, and bringing those two together to create transformation in our life. I hope that is making sense to you guys. So if this week feels sort of slow or kicking off slow, I really feel like there is opportunity for a shift midweek and an air of authority, but also an exuberance and an enthusiasm and a transformation that will take place by week's end that will start to really show on our in our material space, right? In our relationships, our home life. It might be something better with our job. Can you not lick that chair, please? Please stop. But there's going to be something here where there will be steps taken forward where our knowledge will be put to good use, but also our exuberance, our enthusiasm, to keep that sort of excitement, almost like a child, and move forward into that place with this idea of this potential for transformation. Okay? Now, on to Song in My Heart. All right, let me shuffle for Song in My Heart, guys. I'm really excited about this deck. I'm excited about all of these decks. This is why I purchased them. So I love that we have the lovers in the midweek. And also, I have to say this too. The knight is also, to me, knights are always about honor and protection. They're a masculine role, but I love that the young girl is represented. So to me, it feels like there is like we're going to end the week out in a place of having done the right thing or being in a position of sort of honor, protection, moving forward from a place of wisdom, but also from a place of openness. That child, the young girl, makes me think that, she's open and she's aware, yet she's, we have the knowledge or the teachings, right? Our own teachings, our own life experience, and we're using those things to sort of move forward into the month, into the next week, right? So knights are also very stable cards to me. They feel they're less, I don't know, wishy-washy than say that like the pages. Not that the pages are wishy-washy. They're more subservient though. So, and let's see what we've got going on with Song of My Heart. Okay. This card says, life is a blank slate. I can change this situation at any time for a result that works better for me. So that's something to think about this week, you guys. I love that she's sort of, to me, she's just kind of, it's her. The one thing that I love about this deck is there's both a masculine and a feminine aspect to this deck. The artist, the way that she drew these cards, and the way that she sort of, these women sort of stare you dead in the face. And I love that this woman is like sort of the center. Life is a blank slate for her, and life can be a blank slate for us. This week, and we get to choose where we focus our love, where we focus our attention, how much we come from a place of love, how much we come from a place of sort of creation versus allowing the world to dictate to us what our experience it is. Like, I'm just gonna go back to that damn ticket for a minute. That ticket ruined my evening. Like coming home. And so, it's sort of like allowing, what I'm trying to say is that's where I sort of allow my experience to kind of affect what's going on for me. And we don't have to do that. That's what I feel like is in this life as a blank slate card. Like, we get to choose where we focus. We get to stare it dead in the face. I love that she's looking at us straight on and telling us it's up to us to choose it. Again, I feel like this nakedness, which there's a lot of nakedness in this Song of My Heart deck, which I enjoy because it sort of pays homage in my mind to like the vulnerability that we all have, that we all spend so much time struggling to kind of hide or protect. And this deck is unabashedly like nude and reminding you that there's strength in vulnerability, or at least that's my feeling behind the art when I look at it. And so I feel like this woman here mirrors this tree in essence, right? Where this tree to us is, if we begin off the week really kind of looking at ourselves and acknowledging ourselves for who we are at a deeper spiritual level, and sort of taking off the layers or the leaves and seeing where we nurture ourselves and how, and building upon that, moving into that place of love, we're going to be taking that blank slate and really using it for our own creations, right? And we get to choose that. So let's go to the grounding stones. So I have to say this too, really quick. I'm going to switch the cameras. The bag that Andrea sent me the deck in, this Divine Guidance, she sent me a larger bag, which is absolutely awesome because I had so many stones in this tiny little velvet bag that I couldn't fit them all in. They were kind of falling out every time I would go in. This bag here, this gift bag that she sent, is big. So the stones are in there and I can really swirl them around. So thank you for that too. As I was trying to look for an option, and it was hard to find a bigger bag. So let's see what the grounding stone is. For those of you that might be watching that are still new, the grounding stone is a stone or a thought that we want to ground in during the week. Oh, all right, I'm going to go back to changing the camera. So this grounding stone is vision. And I think this was like, this stone is back. I like when this stone shows up. Because it reminds us, that even though it's not wanting to stand up, come on, vision, get it. Doesn't want to stand up. Alright, it's not wanting to do its thing. Come on, boo. Oh, let me see here. Alright, there we go. It's a little wonky and crooked, but whatever. Anyways, what I want to say about the Vision Stone is, again, we have this on a carnelian stone, which to me brings me back down to the root chakra, our first chakra, which is where we ground from, where our survival information is, where all life sort of begins, right? So we want to take our vision and we want to sort of ground in that this week. We want to like look at where do we want to be by next year, like by the beginning of next year, where do we want to be headed? What is the blank slate that we're working with, and how are we building upon that? Oops. Are we building on a place of love, or are we building on a place of like fear? You know, what sort of vision are we holding for ourselves? And getting clear on that this week, I think, is going to be key. There's going to be an option or an opportunity here, especially with that Lover's card in the midweek. But we have to start by sort of stripping it down to the bare bones that I see in this tree. And then really looking and holding tight to this vision of what is it that we want? What is it that we want to create? And I think by week's end, we have the opportunity for that creation, especially on a material sort of level, because this Knight of Pentacles is very much about steady, moving forward energy and the creation of the things that we want in our life. You know, we have to know that we deserve them. We have to know that we believe that we can create them and that we can have them. And so I think that this is a good week to sort of look at that, especially this lady's looking right at me. I feel like she's staring me in the face. And we have to like stare that down and be conscious of that and operate from that place with a clarity and as like a sort of a centered strength of purpose. And if we do that and we hold tight to that as the cards unveil this week, we will see where we're heading and what we're doing. Okay? So I'm going to leave you guys with that as your weekly reading. Look who has come to visit. A friend has come to visit. It's always a good sign. It's always a blessing when the cat shows up during a reading. It means something's going on. Other than the fact that he wants to, like, you know, bite my hand and step on the keyboard, and I won't let him. But yeah, so William McDonald says it's telling me to see things from a different view. That's why it's leaning. You know what? Whichever way it leans for you, William, is perfectly fine with me. If that's what it's telling you, that's awesome. And that's a great interpretation. You know, it's like life is a blank slate, so you get to view it from whichever way you choose. You know, you get the... So shifting perspectives or maybe leaning a little to the left is going to be what's needed this week to help you to keep hold of that vision. But keep that vision strong. You know, where do you want to be? What do you want to do? What do you want to complete? What do you want to let go of? What do you want? You know, those are the things that we should all be thinking about probably, especially in these first 2 weeks of December, because, you know, we're going to get preoccupied and caught up with the holiday. It just happens to the best of us. You know, it becomes about family, and then we get caught up in the more what's the word? Not it's not that it's trivial, but the more human aspects of life, I guess I would say. You know, where maybe we might be a little bit more annoyed or whatever, and that happens to the best of us, right? Like it's okay. That's part of our experience here is to come here, and we can't be all perfect spiritual love and light beings all the time. You know, the goal is you know, hopefully we aspire to that, but I don't necessarily know that we can do that fully all the time. So this is a good week to sort of go in, figure out where you want to be, hold tight to your vision, and start to create it. Because 2020 will bring about hopefully some good energy to give you guys the vision that you are looking at now. Start growing it in the spring. This fool is like sleeping in my arms. Like he is thinking that this is where he is supposed to be. Huh. Because it's comfortable for you. Anyways, I'm going to go. I'm going to start to maybe create my vision. My vision is to grow this channel and to, you know, continue doing this work. So if you guys are interested in a private reading, I'm always available for that. You can message me at the business page. Um, uh, Beyond that, just like, share, comment, follow, subscribe, tune in tomorrow morning. Wednesday and Friday there will be live charm divination events at 7:30 Central Standard Time. You can purchase a charm reading for $25 ahead of time, which helps me to know how to set up the roster so it doesn't become pure chaos for the first 15 minutes. So if that's something you're interested in, please feel free to follow the links and you can do that. Now it's 7:30 Central Standard Time, and on Friday and Wednesday and Friday, the 4th and the 6th of this week. Beyond that, I will see you guys in the morning. So you guys have a great day. Thank you, William. William McDonald, for those of you on YouTube, says, "You're awesome. Definitely subscribing. Thanks and stay blessed." You too, William. I'm here every morning. Normally at 8:30 Central Time. So this I got on a little early today. But I'm always on. Unless I'm traveling, and then I pre-tape my videos. So enjoy. And I need to get to doing some pick-a-cards and stuff. So, and I gotta do you guys' yearlies. I'm gonna try and do predictives for the 2020. I promised I'd do that before I left. What was I thinking? Alright. I love you guys. Have a great day. You have a great day too, Nancy. Thank you, Nancy Lowe. You're new, and I'm glad you're here. So, again, please subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified when I go live if you want to come back. There's also a great group of people that meet in a group called Engelgeist that you guys can find and join if you want to be there too. We just goof around in there and whatever. All right. Take care, you guys. Have a great day. I got to go deal with this lazy cat who thinks that he's supposed to be laying across my belly right now. Have a great day. I love you all. Bye. What are you doing? Huh?